Sometimes the most important progress is knowing when not to say yes. It's been a couple of months since our last video. Not because nothing happened, but because life happened. Sometimes progress doesn't look like a big announcement. Sometimes it just looks like trying to remember where you parked your car while questioning every major life decision you've ever made.
Over the last 2 months, we packed up the car, loaded up Benny, and headed down to Fort Lauderdale with our broker Scott. And by packed up the car, we mean the humans brought the clothes and snacks, and Benny brought emotional support and very strong opinions about rest stops. We were excited, we were hopeful, and we were ready to finally see some boats in person. The reality, though, is that the inventory is not what it used to be. At least not for the specific configurations we are looking for. Still, it felt good to get back on deck.
We ended up seeing a few boats, and then there was the Maverick 440. This boat had everything we wanted, the layout, the condition, the details. It felt like our boat. The kind of boat where you start mentally assigning drawers and pretending you already own matching dishware. We really wanted to buy it. We ran the numbers more times than we care to admit. We debated, we rationalized, we did girl math. We briefly convinced ourselves we were financial geniuses. But in the end, it was just out of reach for our budget. And that was hard. The hardest part was not walking away. It was letting ourselves fall out of love with a boat we could not responsibly say yes to. Benny, for the record, was fully prepared to move aboard immediately and had no concerns about the budget.
The other boats we saw on this trip really didn't spark anything. One was a 4-cabin FP40. Nice boat, just not our lifestyle. We also saw a Leopard 40 that we actually liked, but it needed work. And right now we want turnkey. We want to sail, not start a boat restoration channel. Even so, it was a great trip. We spent quality time with Scott, learned a lot, and got even clearer on what we want and what we absolutely do not. The clarity is worth the miles.
Since then, we've been leaning into land life while we still have it. We visited Epic Universe, celebrated the holidays with friends, said yes to plans we know will be harder once our house technically floats. Benny's been enjoying this phase a little too much. He's very comfortable with couches, air conditioning, and a predictable feeding schedule. We keep reminding him that boat life is coming whether he likes it or not. Next up on our journey is sailing school in the British Virgin Islands. For the first time, we'll actually live on a catamaran for a full week, learning, sailing, figuring out what works and what absolutely does not. We're heading down a few days early to rest and reset, because this next part feels big. Getting on these boats gave us clarity. We're not waiting anymore. We're choosing to wait.
And that feels good, because it means we're not forcing a decision just to feel like we're moving forward.
We know what we want, and just as important, we know what we're not willing to compromise on.
That makes the waiting feel intentional instead of uncertain.
So this chapter closes with a lot more confidence than it started with.
And for the first time, that actually feels like progress.